This is Vahid from VRF Education channel, and welcome back to another session of how to customize admin panel of Django projects. In previous session, we talked about the basic customization that we can apply to our models in Django Admin Panel, and today we're going to extend it. So we're going to work with filters and also search box, because most of the time we need to look for something specific in our models. And also we're going to learn how to make some fields editable in the change view of our admin panel. And after that, we're going to look for how to change dropdowns for related objects into auto-completion dropdowns. And also in more realistic ways, we need to have some lookup forms for those objects, because when we are dealing with enormous objects in our models, we need to have a way to search for those objects instead of loading all of them into a drop-down widgets. And after that, we're going to see how we can order data inside a list in our admin panel and look for different ways of ordering things. Some of them are more flexible, and we can apply logics to our orderings, for example, based on different user privileges. And at last, we're going to see how we can paginate the list of models in our admin panel, so we can prevent the load of a lot of items to our admin panel and reduce the response time and other stuff like that. So let's go and see how we can apply all this customization to our admin panel. In previous session, we learned about how to do some basic customization in our admin panel, such as how to change the title or the page title, and also how to change the first page for each model to show multiple columns inside this list, and also how to make columns or show them as a link in order to go to the detail page for each object. And also we did a lot of things inside this page. So if you didn't watch the previous session, I suggest to watch it first and then continue on this one. Today we are going to do a couple of things again here. How to make these items editable from this page. For example, I want to change the price of one item. Instead of going to the detail page, I'm gonna change it right now inside this page. And also how to look for items inside this list, and how to add filtering option inside this page, something like this filter page, and also this search page here we have inside user. So let's go to VS Code and see how we can apply this advanced customization into our models. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna change this admin class in order to let me modify some content in the first page without need to go into detail page for every single object. For this purpose, I'm gonna add price and status field or column to be editable. So we need to initialize the list underline editable with the name of the fields that I need to edit them or modify them inside the first page. So I'm gonna provide price and a status for this field. So if I save the project and try to run the server, let's do this. We have some errors here. It says that you cannot have one common field in list display links and also list editable. So because when we want to have it as a link, we are not able to add it to editable list. So I'm gonna change it with the title. And if I save it one more time, again the server faced some challenges, and it says in the list display we don't have a status field, so you're not able to edit it. So I'm gonna remove this. Oh, let's have the first one, and I'm gonna remove the second one and replace it with status. Okay, server runs, and let's run or refresh the page. So here, as you can see, we have these two fields with some appropriate widget. For this one, we have a numeric up down, and here we have a combo box or drop down list. Now imagine that I want to change this to 250 and this one to 150, and change this one also to draft. Let's press save, and it says 2 courses were changed successfully. And if I go to detail page, you can see the value for this one changed to 150, and also the status is draft. And if I get back to this one, Again, the value is 250, and again, status I did not change the status, I think. Yeah, okay. If I change it, it's also changed. So this is the way that we can change or modify some properties inside the first page instead of going for that value inside the tail page. And also in Django, we're able to apply some logics. For example, I want to increase the price of all the courses by 10% or even decrease their prices. We can do such things, and I'm gonna talk about them in next session, I think, based on the scheduling. Now let's see what else we can do. So we want to filter. We want to filter the things. Add something like this for the course section. So for this purpose, let's close the terminal. Here we need to provide the field that we want to filter them inside the list underline filter field in our admin class. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna filter by title. Let's see what we have right now. So you can see it says I'm gonna search by all, or I'm looking for course 1. Here we have only course 1, or we can clear all the fields. Course 2, or again we can choose all. So we have all the courses. Let me pause the video and add a couple of other courses, and after that we're going to add other customization field inside the admin class. Okay, I'm back, and I added 6 different courses with different values in this list, and you can see filter section updated for the title. But in Django, we mostly use, for example, fields like status and date for filtering. And Django let us to completely customize this section, and I'm going to talk about it in another video. So you're able to create some filter classes and tell the Django how you're going to filter your contents. So now let's add another field or another column to this filter section. For this purpose, I'm going to say, okay, let's filter by publish date also. And this time, instead of having these values in this section, we have some good criteria for filtering the list. For example, today, past 7 days, this month, and this year. So if I just click past 7 days, you can see we have only 2 courses in past 7 days. And for this month, again, we have 2 courses, but for this year, we have 7 courses. And if I choose any date, we have 8 different courses. So this filter is much better than this one. And we can achieve the role of this filter by a search option that I'm going to talk about very soon. Now, let's add a status filter also. I'm going to replace title with status. And let's refresh the page. Here you can see we have those options inside drop down here. For example, I'm looking for all published courses or all draft courses. So this is much handy in comparison with title or price, because they are somehow look for equality, but for date and enumerations we have different mechanism. And as I told you, we can change this part and customize it based on what we need through creating some filter classes, completely build new filter section, and I'm gonna cover it in another video. So let's go for searching option. I'm gonna add a search item inside this part, something like this. We are going to look for something. For this purpose, we need to pass a field named search fields, and again we need to specify the fields that we are going to look inside those field values for some specified values. So I'm going to say let's look inside the title, and do not forget to put comma to convert it to a tuple. Now let's get back, and if I press or if I load this page, you can see we have search bar here. Imagine that I'm looking for cute. So if I press search, we only have one item that contains cute. Or maybe I need to look for Python. If I press search, it says true result out of 8 total. We have these 2 things that contain Python in their title. Now we can, for example, I'm looking for the course with the price of 100. Let's see if we have any chance. Nothing, because we have no title that contains 100. So what if I come here and let's, okay, please look in title and also price column. Now refresh the page. So this time we have only one item, one row with the price of 100. Now I'm gonna change, for example, this title to Qt 100 and see the result, if the query works for both title and result or not. So again, I'm gonna look for 100, and this time we have two rows in the output or in this list. First one, item price equals to 100, and for the second one we have 100 in the title. So the search works completely fine with the fields that we are going to specify here. We are also able to change how we are looking for items. For example, this time I'm going to change this item to Python. You can see we have two different courses with the Python inside the title. Now I'm gonna change the search in a way that I'm looking for the courses that their title starts with Python. So you can again use query operators here, just like you did when you're working with SQL filter method. So I'm gonna say title dunder or double underscore starts with, and if I run the search, if I refresh the page, here we only have one course that starts with Python, not two courses. And also we can change, let's get this result back. This is our main data set, and imagine that I want to look for the course that their price is greater than 300. So for this purpose, again, we are going to say I'm looking for a for price greater than equal to 300. Oh, oops, something went wrong. Refresh, and this time I'm going to say 300. And if I press search, we have only 5 courses that their price greater than 300. And you can use these operators to modify your search section. And also we have some other capabilities for filter and also search part when we are dealing with models such as lesson, that they have some related field or related object inside their model. So here you can see we are going to create some lessons for these courses. Let's customize a little bit this lesson object, and then after that I'm going to talk about filter search in this model after that. Let's see how we're going to customize lessons. First, let's add a couple of lessons. For example, I'm gonna say lesson 1 underline 1. This is for course 1, and the position is 1. Video URL is http://www.sample.com. Let's copy this one also, save another. Oops. Let's say again for lesson 1 underline 2, and this is again for course 1. The position is 2, and again for course 1 lesson 1 underline 3, and the position is 3 again. The video URL is something like this. And let's add one for what? One for lesson 2 underline 1. This should be for lesson 2, position 1, and the URL is this. One more, lesson 2 underline 2. This is for course 2, position 2, and URL is something like this. So we need to customize this list a little bit. Let's go to VS Code. Where's my VS Code? It's here, and inside here, first I'm gonna not copy. Let's say list underline display equal to, I think we had title. Yeah, we had title, and which course does this lesson related to. So let's refresh. You can see this is lesson 1 underline 1 for course 1, and etc. Now imagine that I want to filter this list based on the course object. So let's see what we can do. Here I'm gonna say filter list underline filter equals to for example, course. Let's see what we have here. Does it work or not? It's not going to work because it says that the list on the filter must be a list or a tuple. I forgot to add comma. So here you can see it says, yeah, I'm gonna filter these lessons based on the course name. For example, course 1, course 2, and for Qt we don't have anything. What if I want to filter by course and a status field? So we can say, go ahead and, oh, I'm sorry, status. I want to filter based on the status field inside the course. So if I refresh, oops, you can see here I have two fields. The field that we are declared for our course object. So for draft we have only 3 objects. Our course one is in draft state, and for published we don't have anything. Let's see why this happened. Clear all filters. And I'm gonna look for published. We don't have any. For draft we have this one. Now let's change the status of course 2 to published and save it. So let's get back here. This time I'm looking for published. So we only have 2 lessons for published courses, and if I choose draft we have 3 courses for our draft, our courses that are in draft state. And again we are able to apply the same logic for our search field. This time I'm gonna say for search fields, please search based on the course underline. For example, what? For example, we have title and price. And let's see what we have. So here we have our search area and course one, price equal to 150, and this time and this one equals to 250, and I'm looking for the lessons for the course that its price equal to 150. If I press search we have only 3 lessons, and if I change it for example to 250 we have only 2, and also we can apply for example underline these these query operators, GTE. So I'm looking for the price with the greater than equal operator. If I press 250, let's see what's the result. Again we have 2, and if I press 50 only, we have all these objects. So we can combine our query operator with the field inside a related object in our search fields. So this is the way that we can customize a related field inside our model that is related to another model. Let's get back to lesson add page one more time. You saw already that we have a drop-down widget here that contains all the courses we already added to database, and we can select one course among this list. And this is very good when we are dealing with a list of, for example, 10 or 20 items. But imagine that we have a list of, for example, 1,000 courses in our database. So it's very hard to look for some specific course inside this list. We can solve this problem with 2 approaches. First one is to add searching or auto-completion capability to this widget. Let's see how we can handle this. Here we need to use autocomplete fields and again pass a tuple. This time I'm going to say course and put a comma here. So it says that for this field I'm going to use autocompletion widget. Here you can see the things somehow changed, and you can search for example, a specific course here. And do not forget that we changed the way that the search is going to work for this field. So we said that search field for title going to start with or the price greater than. Let's just get rid of this. I'm going to duplicate it and Change it as simple as it's possible. Searching for title. Now let's refresh the page and look for example, cute. So you can see we have cute 100 here. Or if I type Python, we have two different Python things. And also you can watch all the items for the Python by clicking on this, for example, icon, or you can edit it. So we don't need to get to those things. Let's, for example, search for React course and create React 1_1. The position is 1 and the URL is base. So we created just another lesson. Now let's see how we can change this way. Imagine that we have a very large data set for this field or this model in our database. For example, 1 million records or 1,000 records. So it's not make sense to load all those items in memory and load them inside this drop-down list. This time we can use some things like lookup things. We are looking for something. So what does it mean? I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna comment this autocomplete fields and looking for raw ID on the fields. Raw ID fields, again it says please specify the field that you are going to search for. So I'm gonna say I want to open a dialog, a lookup form for course field inside the lesson model. Now if I refresh the page, this time it's changed to something like this. A magnify icon appear here. It says lookup. So we're going to look up for courses in another window. Here we have a course window, and we can look up or we can search for example, cute, and we can select it. After selected, you can see the ID of that course appear inside the course list. And let's get back to the course that we already added to form. Here, in addition to the ID, you can see a link to that specific course, and also the course title will be appeared, because we say in .str that we need to show course title instead of the course object. So if I clicked on this, we redirect to this page and we can see which course we are going to add lesson 4. So this is another way, and it's recommended that when we are dealing with large data sets, so we can look up or we can search for specific items inside the database and select it and add it to this related field. The next thing that we are going to talk about is let's see what we have. Okay, let's change the order of items appeared inside this grid or this list. By default, it's gonna fetch the data from the database based on their ID, and the order is descending. Now I'm gonna order these courses based on their title. For this purpose, you just need to go to the admin class for that model, the course admin class, and use use the field ordering and pass the field that you want to order based on. And you can also combine it or use complex ordering based on 2 or 3 columns. So I'm gonna say please order the list based on the title. Now if I refresh, you can see it's based on the title C, D, O, P, Q, and R. And if I, for example, change this name from capital cute to small cute and save it, it's gonna place at the end of the list, because we know that the ASCII code for capital letters are less than the small letters. And we can also change the ordering and reverse it. For example, reverse it descending. For this purpose, you just need to add a minus before the field name. Now if I refresh the page, you can see the title will change the descending, and this time cute with a small q appear in the first, and the course, the C, capital C course, appeared in the bottom of the list. Now let's see how we can do ordering things without using ordering field. This time I'm going to use ordering get underline ordering method. For most of the customization fields, we have some equivalent method, and you can read about them in Django documentation. These methods gonna provide us, or gonna let us do things in more flexible way. Let's see, what does it mean? So I'm gonna comment the ordering. So I just comment it out and comment it out. Oops, no, not fulfilling. That's okay. And I'm gonna override the get underline ordering method. Ordering, it's gonna pass a self object and a request object. So here I'm gonna say if I'm going to change the ordering based on the user that log into the admin area. If it's a super user, I'm going to sort the course list based on the title, and otherwise I'm going to sort it based on the price descending. So I'm going to say if request dot user dot is underline super user, return a tuple that contains title. Otherwise, return, oops, I misspelled it, title, and we need another tuple here, price, and this time we need to order descending, and do not forget to put a comma to cast it to a tuple. So let's go here, and I need another user. So this is admin user. I'm gonna add another user. The name is Vahid, and the password, it should be some complex things. Something like this, I think. Let's make a copy. So that's okay. Save the user. And also I'm going to add all this permission to this user. Save. So this is not a super user. So for admin user, if I press courses, you can see again the list ordered by the title. Now I'm gonna log out and log in using Vahid user, and the password is this. Oops, it says that. Oh, I forgot to. I always forgot these things. Inside the user for Vahid, we need to tell its staff. It's one of the users that can access to this admin panel. So let's log out and say Vahid, the password is this. So we are logging. If I press course, you can say this time the list ordered by the price, and it's descending. We have 100 at the bottom and 670 at the top. So this is the way that you can use get ordering or equivalent method to do things in more flexible ways. And the last thing that I'm gonna talk about in this session is how we can paginate this list. So for this purpose, you should go to admin class and use this field list per page. So you're gonna provide a number. For example, I want to see 3 items inside each page. Now let's see what we have in the output. If I refresh, you can see it's paginated. We have 3 different pages. 8 courses, page 1, page 2, and page 3. So you can use show all in order to get rid of those pagination also if you want. But for some data set that contains a lot of records or a lot of items, it's the best way to paginate in order to prevent the data load completely into the memory and having a very small scroll bar here. So this is the way that you can paginate your list. And that's it. I think it's enough for this session. And in next session, I'm gonna tell you how to what? Let's bring it up. How to add course lessons inside this page. So you don't need to create a course and then go to lesson page and create lessons for that specific course. You can do it here inside this page. And there's a couple of ways to do these things. So I hope you enjoyed the content of this session, and till next session, goodbye.